Without further ado, allow me to introduce the first speaker, Suraya Zainudin, founder of Ringgit.com. She's a writer, speaker, and digital marketer specializing in personal finance. She'll be speaking on future banking and sustainable development goals, personal finance amidst the rapid changes. Please, let's welcome Suraya to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm applause for our band over here. They've been doing an amazing job. Hi, how are you? Without looking at the person sitting next to you, quick, what color is your shirt? Don't look. Never pay attention. Yeah. So, I also want you to take a good look towards your partners so that you can see each other. The people in this room, the one thing that you have in common is that you are all decision makers. If you're not decision makers now, you will perhaps be a decision maker in the future, right? And as someone who is probably, live in Malaysia, have a family in Malaysia, all of us are impacted by each other's decisions. I am very sure we all in this room benefited from, all of us conduct financial transactions that's probably, managed or overseen by someone sitting here in this room, most probably, right? And when we talk about decision makers, in this room also, it's very much a top-down approach. You are the ones who create the programs. You are the ones who create the financial products and services that are to be used by people. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Suraya, and I am a personal finance activist. I have been writing about personal finance for the last 8 years, and in my work, I have talked to countless Malaysians about how they conduct their own finances in everyday life. I know what the bottom are saying about the decisions that you have made in the past or will be making in the future. So in that sort of spirit, I would like to let you know that, again, my work as a personal finance content creator for the last 8 years, I've written countless articles on how to manage finances better. I'm also someone who have written a personal finance book. It's called Bergaji dan Pokai. For our international friends, the direct translation of the book means salaried and broke. Very straight to the point. It's for people who are earning money but still finding it hard to manage their finances. And I would like to invite you to sort of broaden your mind in order to see what is it that's causing people to earn money in this environment right now, but still feel like they do not have enough. Is it okay if I do that and share with you? Yeah? Okay. So I hope that the takeaway from a session, I plan to share 2 big points. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 is that life is expensive. Do you agree on this? I agree on this. Life is expensive, yes? Yes. Yeah. Life is expensive, but life is going to get even more expensive if we do not make significant progress towards SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. And I'm going to share with you a couple of examples why not, okay? The first example would be the easiest part, environmental part, the E part, environmental. That's SDG goal number 13, is that right? Goal number 13, I believe. And SDG 13 towards climate, you can see it nowadays that we have more floods, we have more haze, the air quality gets worse, noise pollution gets worse. For the everyday person, again, what I'm trying to share with you is how people on the ground are experiencing, how their personal finance change with all of this, decisions that you are make or will be making in the future. with people on the ground, when climate is not great, they have to shell out extra money to pay for services so that their life is more bearable. Do you agree with me on this? Right? Ladies and gentlemen, the world is getting hotter, and I believe you already know that statistic already. But did you know July 2023 was the hottest ever year on record for the last 125,000 years? Hottest year ever. And every year we break that record. It's not a great record to break, but every year we break that record. Now, we are on track to reach, I believe, I'm not a climate activist, but I believe we are on track that the Earth's temperature will increase by 1%, I believe, by the end of the decade. Okay, and what that means is that people people who are at risk, elderly people, babies, you have to get them aircon so that they are not at risk at heat. So that is an extra expense. Another example would be haze. Again, a very recurring topic by this point. So when I ask my audience on social media, is air purifier a want or a need? Most people say it is already a need. And you know how much they cost. Again, it is added expense to our personal finance. Maybe I'll share one more example for myself. My husband and I, in order to save money, we have one car between us. And we do this in order to save money, but we find it that nowadays, because of flooding, we have to pay for the more comprehensive insurance, car insurance, so that we are also protected against flood. Correct? And that is more expensive, another additional expense. So back to my point, which is life gets more expensive, more and more expensive, if we do not have significant progress on SDGs. So that one is SDG goal number 13. I'm going to give one more example, which is one that I have on screen right now. SDG goal number 10, reduce inequality. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was doing my research into this presentation, I was looking up, and one of the measures in order to figure out whether or not income inequality is reducing or decreasing is something called the Gini coefficient. And in Malaysia, actually, our Gini coefficient is improving. It says that our income inequality is reducing. However, when I was doing my research, it turns out that while relative income has decreased, absolute income has increased by a lot in the last 46 years. The bar line on the right means that the average T20 household is earning 13,224 ringgit more than the average B40 household, right? So this is income inequality. When a country have high income inequality, what that means is that research says it has direct correlation with lower life expectancy, higher infant mortality, worse mental health, higher violence. I'll just give you one example. A friend of mine, he bought, on paper, he bought a house that is suitable for his income, right? At a neighborhood that is within his budget. However, because of the increased violence, his house was ransacked by thieves, and he had to spend 11,000 ringgit in security to protect his family, and he put that on credit card debt. And therefore, he spent a lot of time, years, in order to pay back that credit card debt. So you can see how income inequality itself, that's something that we have to reduce, have very direct impact to the everyday person. Okay, that's point number one. Some of you when you hear that, you might say, why didn't he save money? Yes, why didn't he save money, right? And a lot of you right now in your, especially working in financial, in banks, right? You have a lot of savings feature. You already have the tools. Why not use it? And that's a very good point, right? My second point, which is I know that for you, the banking industry, you all love nudge. right? For those of you who are not familiar with the nudge concept, it's something that is popularized by the popular economist Richard Taylor. And this is basically what you call how to encourage people to make better decisions or just a decision that you want them to make. The fancier name for nudge is choice architecture. How do you encourage people to take certain choices that you want them to make, right? And with this kind of choice architecture, you might say that, let's encourage people to save money. But what money? People are not earning enough. And you might also ask that, then why don't people, we keep giving them advice. Please do save money. Please do save money. Malaysians have low financial literacy. That's why you cannot save money, right? I would like to point out on this research, OECD International Survey of Adult Financial Literacy 2020, and among the data set over here, you can see Malaysia. It's right around the middle there. And if you don't know, financial literacy score in this study is divided into three: financial knowledge, financial behavior, and financial attitude. Malaysia, in this study, actually ranked amazing for financial behavior. Malaysians already know how to save money. The problem is that the money is not there to save. Okay, I see that I would like to share a bunch more other data set, but it is enough for me to let you know out here that our income inequality in this country is still big. And that it's so amazing that last night I actually saw this one amazing YouTube video that basically says that a lot of people are burnt out, especially in certain industries like banking and finance. In fact, I was amused to learn that there's a term called banker burnout. Some of you might have experienced yourself having banker burnout, or also your colleagues having banker burnout. But the reason that people have burnout is not because they are too busy. It's actually because they feel like they're not making enough impact. So with the rest of the session today, I invite you to see what kind of impacts that you can make, collaborate with the people who are in this very room. And I hope that you'll be making the impact that can help you yourself overcome your own burnout, and so that you can sleep better at night. I think my time is up. Thank you very much for your attention. And I hope to see you again in the floor later. Thank you so much.